Hello, welcome to JenPenCreations. I'm Jen. Today, I want to talk about an analogy, concept that me and my son were discussing just a couple days ago. And it's just kind of been on my mind. And it's a concept that I learned from an author, creator, influencer on YouTube named Manson. And this concept is about dandelions and orchids. So stay with me. We're going to talk about this and I'll get right to it. Manson is a creator, an author. Actually, I was introduced to him through years and years ago when I had a Kindle and a Kindle account, and I read his book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it was amazing. Honestly, if you have not read it or even heard about it, you should go read it. Look up Mark Manson, watch some of his videos. He's got a podcast with a friend of his. They called it Solved. And I'm pretty sure that's where this concept comes from. So I thought that he was so fantastic that I turned my son onto watching him too, because he was working long hours in the warehouse and podcasts are what he listens to while he's working. And I knew that Mark Manson was just so inspiring and fantastic. So I told my son, hey, maybe you should be listening to him. And so he listens to his podcasts too. And me and him, sometimes we have conversations about what he says and what we think about it and stuff like that. And this last one just hasn't been able to leave my mind. There are only two types of people in this world. You are either a dandelion or you are an orchid. And the idea is that dandelions are weeds and can grow anywhere. They'll grow in a sidewalk. Some tiny little crack in a sidewalk, they will find a way to sprout up there and grow. You can plant them in sand, you can plant them in dirt, you can plant them in concrete. They will find a way to grow. You don't even have to plant them. They plant themselves. They are all over the damn place because they are so resilient to nearly everything and they grow anywhere. That's the nature of a weed, right? Like it'll grow anywhere. Now, orchids, on the far other end of that spectrum, orchids require a specific type of environment and amount of sunlight and like certain parameters in order for an orchid to grow and thrive. You can keep an orchid alive for a little while outside of its element, but it will lose all of its flowers and its leaves will start to wilt and shrivel. I've seen it. I have a hard time keeping orchids alive. Right now I have one that my daughter bought for me and it's beautiful. It still has like one or two blooms on it at the top, and I'm actually very surprised I've been able to keep it alive as long as I have because orchids are so delicate. They die even when you're trying really hard to keep them alive. The analogy is basically you can adapt and grow where you're planted, or you can shrivel and die without the right specific conditions for you. It was kind of something that really sort of blew my mind because I personally consider myself a dandelion. I can really thrive anywhere I'm thrown into. Any situation I'm thrown into, I'm pretty resilient. I can adapt to it and move forward. That is how I have learned how to move through life, is to adapt and proceed. Adapt and proceed. Like, it's just, life is a repetition of adapting and proceeding, adapting and proceeding. Like you can have an opinion about something, you learn something new about that, you adapt your opinion to that, and you proceed. You lose your job that you've had for 25 years. You get laid off or something, because that's what's happening to a lot of people. That happened to me. I didn't have the job for like 20 years or nothing, but getting laid off right now really sucks. And it's hard to adapt to. But you try to do everything you can to adapt and proceed through life. Like, that is how I have figured out life. Like, that's how I live. That's how I continue to try to thrive in this world. It's really hard right now. It is super duper hard right now. But in my personal opinion, with God, my Savior, with His help, I am moving on through. And that's why I believe that I am a dandelion in this world. I can pretty much adapt and move forward in any space I get dropped into. I can be plucked from one garden and thrown into a dumpster pile and get my roots growing again, and I will grow in that dumpster pile until I'm plucked from there and planted somewhere else. And that just seems to be the way I feel like I need to be in this world. That's how I should be here. Now, I have met people along my life path that have been orchids. They have a hard time adapting to change. They don't want, they need carefully regulated everything in their environment so that things don't change. Because change is scary. Getting them plucked out of their environment and put into another one could seriously be detrimental. Like, it might not be detrimental to them physically, like it may not cause them physical harm, it'll cause mental harm. And that can be just as bad or worse than physical harm. These are the people that you try to like tiptoe around and stuff so that you don't upset their bubble. You know? I try not to keep people like that in my life for a long period of time. If you can't adapt to a new situation, man, how are you still here? Like, the only thing in life that is absolutely guaranteed to never change is that change will happen. Change will always happen. So what do you do with that? If you can't adapt to it, are you going to shrivel and die? Like, do you shrivel and die up here? Because I know that it's not always physical. A lot of times that mental just is too much. And those people are the orchids. I was talking to my son and we were discussing the fact that he was very thankful that I raised him and his sisters to be more like dandelions. I feel as though that was the best decision I could have possibly made for them. And I don't like thinking that I forced some sort of ideology upon my children. I mean, I did take them to church. However, I did also allow them, as they were growing up and their brains were developing into like teenagers and stuff like that, I allowed them to develop their own thoughts, ideas, and beliefs about our Creator and who He is to them. If He's a He, if He's a thing at all, if they believe in that at all. That is all completely up to them. And I'm going to tell you, just because I took my children to church with me 5 times a week, I didn't shove it down their throats. What, kitty? She just ate and she needs some attention, so. I forgot where I was. Kitty came in and distracted me. I know that I was talking about how my son was very thankful that I raised him and his sisters to be more dandelion-like than orchid-like. And I personally believe that that's how we need to raise our children. Let them make their own decisions, let them adapt, let them decide what religion they want to be, despite whether they went to church 5 times a week when they were a child. It's not about introducing them to your specific religion and making them be a part of it. It's about introducing them to religion in general and letting them make their own decision as they grow older, and learning to make that decision, adhere to it, adapt to it, and change it as they even get older and learn more in the world and figure out what things are and how things work. And we're all allowed to do that. That's called adapt and move forward. That's called change. That's very healthy for us. It's how we learn. It's how we move through life. It's how we feel like we're going forward. I know that one of my daughters, I'm pretty sure as she was growing up, she was trying so hard to be an orchid in this world. She wanted to have that perfect, pristine life and do everything that doesn't require her to be adaptable or any of that stuff. And I think that she tried really hard, but now that she's an adult and she has her own children and she's got bills to pay and a job to hold down and stuff, like, now she realizes how beneficial it is for her to be a dandelion. Is it beneficial in your life to be a dandelion, or is it beneficial to you to be an orchid? I mean, some people, it benefits them more to be an orchid and somebody else take care of them and make sure that all of their needs are met. Or they have done every single thing specifically to where their needs get met to this specific degree. Sometimes one little slight misstep can cause something to fall completely and their perfect curated environment gets jumbled. Is that beneficial? I don't know. In my personal opinion, I don't think it is. I feel like that is probably one of the worst things you can do to yourself, is get yourself in this mindset where this is how it's going to be and change isn't going to happen to it. It's like the Titanic. All these people thought that it was the unsinkable ship. Well, I mean, it was seriously, the ship was made of iron. Iron sinks. Like, yeah, with it, built the way it was and everything, you know, the aerodynamic, the architecture of the boat and stuff made it a boat that would float. But the moment it started to take on water, it was made of iron. It was going to go down fast. Iron is super sinkable. And sometimes I feel like that's the way our life goes. So tell me your thoughts on it. What do you feel about dandelions and orchids, and who are you in this big mess of this world? I feel like I'm a dandelion. My son also feels like he is a dandelion, and he feels like his sisters are too. Even the one that tried to be an orchid for so long, she's always been a dandelion, and I think she's now figured that out. But who are you? Go out there, maybe learn which one you are today, or ponder on it, think about it, send me a comment or two. We'll discuss it. I love talking about stuff like this. Let's have a chat. Go do something for you today. Do something for somebody else today and make them happy and smile, because that usually makes us feel good inside. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.